In the ancient city of Sestos, its gleaming marble temples and columned buildings clinging to the rugged cliffs high above the churning waters of the Hellespont Strait, there lived a priestess named Hero. She served in the temple of Aphrodite, goddess of love and beauty, her own radiant looks and graceful form making her seem almost an embodiment of the deity herself. Though many men from across the Greek world sought Hero's hand, pledging their undying devotion, her heart belonged only to Leander, a strapping young man with eyes like smoldering coals and a body hardened by the sea. He hailed from the rival city of Abydos on the distant Asian shores of the Hellespont. Their passionate love was rendered impossible by the long-standing hatred between their two peoples. But like Aphrodite herself, the forces of love and desire burned stronger in Hero and Leander than any feuds of men. Each night as the sun dipped below the horizon, bathing the tumultuous strait in shades of orange and red, Hero would light a small oil lamp. She would place it in the window of her solitary seaside tower, its flickering flame serving as a beacon to guide her beloved Leander across the treacherous waters. As the moon traced its way across the star-strewn sky, Leander would strip off his tunic and sandals before wading out into the icy waters. The currents swirled dangerously, the dark waves frothing and crashing like ravenous beasts. But Leander was a strong swimmer, powering through the inky blackness with strokes driven by sheer force of will and an undying love for the woman who awaited him. No matter how the merciless strait battered his battle-hardened body, no matter how the biting cold sapped his strength, Leander's eyes remained focused on that solitary point of light glowing in the distance. Hero's lamp filled him with hope, giving purpose to every punishing stroke. The harder he swam, the closer he came to the radiant beacon of their forbidden passion. At last, spent and shivering, Leander's hands would grasp the rocky base of Hero's tower. The priestess would descend, wrapping her arms around her lover's chilled body and pulling him close. Their kisses tasted of the sea's salt and the sweetness of a love that could never be in the light of day. Leander's powerful hands would roam across Hero's soft skin as she peeled away his soaked clothes, their two forms intertwining in the throes of passion. On those secret nights, the world fell away until nothing remained but their forbidden embrace and the eternal music of the crashing waves against the stone tower. Some nights their lovemaking would last until the first brushes of dawn began to paint the sky in hues of pink and lavender. Only then would Leander tear himself away, planting one last searing kiss on Hero's lips before diving back into the churning waters. His eyes remained locked on the lamp's warm glow, following it across the straight surface until he finally tumbled ashore on the far side, hauling himself up on the sandy beaches of Abydos. Though apart once more, Hero and Leander's hearts were eternally bound by a love that defied the ancient feuds of their people. But the fates are fickle, and their blissful nights could not last forever. One fateful evening, dark clouds began swirling ominously above the Hellespont as Leander made his nightly preparations. The winds rose up with a vengeance, lashing the waters into a frothing maelstrom. Towering waves battered against the rocky cliffs as thunder rumbled ominously across the roiling surface. Still, Hero lit her lamp, desperately hoping its warm light would cut through the gloom and guide her beloved safely across the treacherous strait. She watched anxiously from her balcony as Leander plunged into the raging tempest, his powerful strokes propelling him forward even as the merciless currents tried to tear him back. Leander battled through the driving rain, each breath ripped away by the howling winds. Monstrous waves crashed over him, the dark waters swirling and churning like a whirlpool of Poseidon's fury. Still, he pressed onwards, his eyes never leaving Hero's flickering beacon in the distance. But even Leander's incredible strength and resolve were no match for the tempest's wrath. A massive swell rose up before him, its foaming wall towering high above. Leander's eyes went wide with terror as the wave crashed down, its crushing weight driving him beneath the inky surface in a vortex of bubbles and darkness. Hero watched in helpless horror from her tower as the storm raged on, finally abating as the first rays of dawn began to peek over the horizon. She raced down to the water's edge, desperately scanning the beach for any sign of her lover. It was there that she finally found him, Leander's lifeless body face down in the sand, the waves gently lapping at his feet. An anguished scream of grief and rage tore from Hero's lips, echoing across the now calm waters. She fell to her knees, cradling Leander's head in her hands as the tears streamed down her face. After composing herself, she gently lifted his body and carried it up to her tower bedchamber, laying him atop the bed as if he were merely sleeping. For 3 long days and nights, Hero remained cloistered with her lover's body, praying fervently to Aphrodite for guidance. On the 4th morning, she emerged onto the balcony carrying a simple wreath of wildflowers. She gently laid it across Leander's chest, brushing her lips against his one last time. Then Hero turned her gaze skyward, resolve hardening her delicate features. "A great Aphrodite, I cannot remain in this world without my beloved by my side. If you cannot reunite our souls in life, then let me join him in the afterlife, that our love may burn eternal." With those words, Hero stepped up onto the balcony's ledge, her robes whipping around her in the sea breeze. She gazed out one final time across the Hellespont before falling forward, plunging down towards the unforgiving rocks below. In that last moment, a look of pure serenity graced her features, a woman at last at peace. Hero's body landed with a sickening crunch, her bones shattering on impact. But in that moment, her spirit was finally freed, reuniting with Leander's in the immortal realm of the gods. Their love, once deemed so forbidden by the petty feuds of men, now burned brighter than ever, eternal and undying for all eternity.